So yeah, I did quit my day job for delivery. And the worst part about it is I didn't even try them first before I did it. So time for another episode of Tom Quits His Day Job. Yeah, that's right. I did it, everybody. What have I done? What have I become? And where am I going? So yeah, I did quit my day job for delivery. And the worst part about it is I didn't even try them first before I did it. So let this be a lesson. Maybe prepare a little bit before you do something this rash, because it's not the smartest move to just quit without even trying something else out first or having something lined up. But for me, where do I begin? I was in the dental lab industry for 7 years. I tried to move up, tried different avenues within the dental lab field as a technician, and nothing really worked out, nothing panned out, and I felt like I was getting nowhere. I was making more money as I went up, but over the time, I just realized that this type of work wasn't for me. And it got to the point where I left the lab I was at for 7 years and I went to a different lab. And it was basically like starting from the beginning, and I was just miserable every day. I got in there, the work environment, the noises, the conditions you were in, I was just over it after doing it for so long. And oh, poor baby Tom didn't like a job. And I felt like I just needed that change to really shake things up. I also tried to apply for Instacart and Walmart Spark, but they put me on a waiting list. I did Rover. I was accepted, but then I was getting nothing. So there really was a lot of trial and error, and I was really like, what is that saying? Trial by fire? Trial by fire? So a lot of this is just going to be my experience. I'll probably say a lot of advisory things, but just know I'm not telling anybody what to do or how to do things. It's just what I've learned so far doing this, and I've only done like one full week of it. And within that week, I've only done like 21 hours, which is really bad. I definitely need to up those hours. And a friend recommended budgeting. I don't know why I didn't think of doing this. So Peter, thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. So definitely a good thing to budget. Also, I'm going to put some links in my description for products I found on Amazon that might be helpful. I found that using a magnetic phone holder in your car is super efficient, because you can just pluck it off at any time, instead of like, I had a cheapo one that I bought, but it was like spring loaded, so I had to like rip its springs open, and this is just super simple. What's funny is that I actually owned one, but I lost the metal piece. So I actually had some random scrap metal, and I cut it, put duct tape so it wasn't sharp, electric tape and duct tape, and Velcroed it to the back of my phone case. So very Mad Max style, but it's super helpful to just have something stick and then be able to remove it, because as you're doing it, you realize that time is everything. It's like, I don't want to have to be struggling with something while I'm trying to do an order. So I've tried DoorDash and Uber Eats. It seems like in this area, Portland, Uber Eats seems to be much more popular. I'm getting a lot more opportunity with Uber Eats. I'm getting, like, you can deliver alcohol, you can go shopping for people, then just the regular restaurants. But I find that it's very consistent. With DoorDash, a lot of times I have to schedule, and it's not busy. And even when it is busy, I'm waiting like 10 to 15, even 20 minutes before an order comes in. And in that meantime, Uber Eats has already offered me multiple things. So it's just, Uber Eats has been pretty consistent. So budgeting is definitely a key thing, just so you know, like, how much money you're going to be owing each month in terms of bills, expenses, groceries. Definitely want to do an estimate of gas. I put mine at like $150 per month right now, and realizing like, okay, I have to work X amount of hours in order to get to this point. I will say, even though it wasn't the smartest decision I've ever made, I feel like I really have complete control over my life for the first time in a long time, like setting up my schedule. But the fact that I've only worked 20 hours this week, makes me realize that like I really need to push harder. Because once you get out there, you don't think it would be a job that is tiring. But when you're out there on the road and you're just like you're hyper focused at the traffic, at your phone, where you have to go, your eyes start to strain and you do get pretty tired. Especially if we've had some really hot days recently, like $100 days. What's wrong with my brain? 100-degree days. And it's just like, I'm just sweating the whole time. There's a lot of things to consider before you do this. Me, since I'm insane, I just went for it. It's definitely not recommended. You definitely have to know yourself too. It's like, are you an aggressive driver? Because you kind of need to be. But I mean, at the same time, you have to be very like highly focused and aware of your surroundings. Do you not mind having to try and find parking? Do you not mind parking in spots you really shouldn't with your hazard lights on? Because you will have to do that sometimes. If you hate driving, this is definitely not something you want to do. The apps make it really good, convenient, they're very user-friendly. I mean, you can cancel whenever you want. If an order is not going the way you want it, or you have like a very long wait time, you can just cancel and they'll find somebody else. Whether or not that messes up your algorithm, that's yet to be seen for me, since I've only done it like less than a month. Given that you can just have complete control over your schedule, it's very nice thing to be able to do. You definitely want to have multiple bags. This video is just becoming like tips, but really it's just like what I've learned so far with my experience. But you definitely want to have multiple insulated bags. The ones I really like are the sling bags that have a sling option. So you can just, when you're in your car, put it over your shoulders, grab your other stuff like your phone, your keys, and then head to the door. You have to take photos of each time you put it down, put a package down if they say leave at door. So I always get the phone ready to take the photo, drop it off, and get the heck out of there. There have been very rare times where they've said leave at door and then they open the door. I'm like, whoa, okay, let's just stay in the house. I don't want to see you. Let's just get this over with so I can get out of here. Overall, it's been a good experience because it's giving me time to try to pursue something else that I'd rather be doing than dental lab work, which has been just like, if you're not familiar with dental lab, it's very dirty work. I mean, you're dealing with stone, chemicals, you're grinding on lathes. It's a lot of, it's very industrial feeling. I mean, you're doing a lot of like working with like machinery and stuff that can injure yourself. Like I've had like countless cuts on my fingers and stuff during that time frame, and so it just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm kind of tired of doing this, and I was sick of being in a point where I wasn't doing what I loved doing, or I wasn't doing something that I could at least get some enjoyment out and felt like I was going into the workforce doing something that had purpose, that gave me purpose. I think purpose is important in life, and finding that can be very difficult. So I got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. And like I said, I mean, it wasn't the best decision to just jump the shark and just go for it. But in part, I think it's what I needed for my mental health and my well-being, because I was really getting into a dark space. And I know I don't get too serious on this channel, but maybe I will. Maybe it's having a really serious. But anyway, definitely, if you want to look into this, you definitely got to plan ahead. I mean, look up tip videos. I'm going to probably post more videos about it in the future. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But I just wanted to share my experience and see if I can think of anything else that stood out to me. Oh, taking orders. You'll quickly realize places you don't want to go. I just didn't feel comfortable doing the order. And it's okay to decline those orders because your safety is priority number one. For the most part, experience been really good. People that I have had to deliver to, like I've delivered alcohol, they've been accommodating and nice people. I haven't had any major issues so far. It's very rare for somebody to want to like receive it in person, but it does happen. And in terms of picking the app, I would just see what's best in your area. If you're getting more with DoorDash, use DoorDash. If you're getting more with Uber Eats, use Uber Eats. Just depends on where you are and what you like. I like your Uber Eats platform more. I like the UI on it and just the features it has. It has more incentive too. I think you can get like cash back on different gas stations. And I think for me, DoorDash just seemed more restrictive. I have not tried Grubhub, but I'm pretty much set on Uber Eats at this point, so I don't see a need to. unless Uber Eats starts to get really bad. Being in the city, it's definitely nice because I get a lot of offers. So budgeting, having thermal bags with a sling is definitely helpful. I have like a smaller one and like a big one. Small one is for like if I go to like 7-Eleven or like a mini mart, then they want alcohol. I can just put those in the insulated lunch bag that has a sling. Definitely want some version of phone holder. You need it. I would recommend the magnetic one. I'll put a link in the description. You definitely want to track mileage because you can deduct it in your taxes. There are already like restaurants I've been to that I won't accept anymore just because they're chaotic. And the last one I went to, they ran out of a certain product. So it was like a debacle with the trying to figure out if they want to replace it. And at that point, I was just like exceeding wait time, cancel order. At that point, like the customer can choose. The customer can call in and sort it out because I'm just there to deliver the food. I'm not there to sort all these things out. I can't like change the order. It's like stuff like that just makes it more of a time sink, and it's not my responsibility to fix everything. Same thing with shopping. When you do shop and pay, it gets to the point where if there's no substitution for an item, just refund it or remove it, and they can do another shop and pay down the road, or they can go out and get it themselves. You can do the best you can. You're not like a superhuman robot person. So they make the app is pretty user friendly with that stuff. It takes a while to get used to. Like the first day, I was like, I don't want to do this. What the hell was I thinking? I'm insane. But you really got to grind at it and budget so you know how much you're making. You know how much you need to work. I mean, I got to the point where I at least need to work 30 hours a week. Really should strive to do 40. There you have it. There's my crazy scenario. What's been happening. I know it's more very off the cuff. This is unscripted. So sorry if it's kind of all over the place, but yeah, let me know if you want to see more of my experiences out there on the road. I'm not sure what else I would say, but there's got to be more. All right, good luck out there. Be safe, stay strong. Peace be with you. My slime pajamas.